Download this code from codegive.com, link in the description below. Tutorial: Malware analysis of Pikabot using Visual Studio. Pikabot is a well-known piece of malware that has been used in various cyber attacks, often targeting banking credentials or sensitive information. Analyzing malware like Pikabot can help in understanding its behavior, payload, and potential mitigation strategies. In this tutorial, we'll walk through the debugging and analysis process using Visual Studio, focusing on the steps necessary to analyze the malware. Prerequisites: 1. Visual Studio. Ensure you have Visual Studio installed with the appropriate workloads for C++ development. 2. Windows Sandbox/VM. Always perform malware analysis in a controlled environment, such as a virtual machine or a sandbox, to prevent any unintentional damage to your host OS. 3. Debugging tools. Familiarize yourself with tools such as IDA Pro, Ghidra, or X64DBG for static and dynamic analysis. Step-by-step Pikabot analysis. Step 1. Setting up the environment. 1. Create a virtual machine. Use software like VirtualBox or VMware to create a VM. 2. Install Windows. Set up a fresh installation of Windows. 3. Install Visual Studio. Make sure to install necessary components for C++ debugging. Step 2. Static analysis. Before jumping into debugging, perform some static analysis on the Pikabot binary. 1. Use PE Explorer. Load the Pikabot binary into PE Explorer to examine the structure. 2. Check imports and exports. Look for suspicious APIs like create process, write file, and get async key state. CPP. / example of examining imports. Include windows.h. Include iostream. Void list imports, const char * file name. / code to list imports from the binary. / this is just a placeholder for demonstration. std code listing imports for, file name std and l. / implement import listing logic here. Step 3, Dynamic analysis with Visual Studio. 1. Open Visual Studio and create a new project. 2. Add the Pikabot binary to your project as a resource. 3. Set up a debug configuration. Configure the debugger to start with the binary. You can do this by setting it as the startup project. Step 4, Setting breakpoints. Identify key functions or entry points that you want to analyze. 1. Set breakpoints. Set breakpoints on functions that handle network connections or file manipulations. 2. Use the debugger. Start debugging the application within Visual Studio. CPP. / example breakpoint in a function. Void processed data. / assume this function handles critical data processing. / set a breakpoint here to inspect the flow. std code processing data, std and l. / add code to monitor the behavior. Step 5, Inspecting variables and memory. 1. Watch variables. Use the watch window to monitor specific variables. 2. Memory inspection. Inspect memory regions that may contain sensitive data or function pointers. CPP. Void inspect memory. / example function to inspect memory. / use read process memory to read memory of the process. std code inspecting memory, std and l. / implement memory inspection logic here. Step 6, Analyzing network traffic. Pikabot often communicates with command and control servers. Use tools like Wireshark. 1. Monitor traffic. Capture packets to analyze the traffic generated by the Pikabot. 2. Identify patterns. Look for unusual patterns in the traffic that might indicate data exfiltration. Step 7, Logging and Reporting. 1. Log findings, document your findings in a structured format. 2. Create a report, summarize the behavior of Pikabot, including its methods of infection and persistence mechanisms. CPP. Void log findings, const std string and finding. / log findings to a file. Std offstream log file, malware _analysis _log.txt, std iOS app. If, log file is _open. Log file finding std and l. Log file close. Conclusion. Analyzing malware like Pikabot requires a structured approach, using both static and dynamic analysis techniques. By utilizing Visual Studio for debugging, you can step through the code, inspect memory, and understand the behavior of the malware. Always remember to conduct such analyses in a controlled environment to prevent any unintended consequences. Important notes. Legal considerations. Ensure you have the legal right to analyze the malware and that you comply with all relevant laws and regulations. Safety first. Always use isolated environments to prevent the malware from affecting your main operating system or network. This tutorial provides a basic framework for analyzing Pikabot malware. In practice, deeper analysis may involve more complex techniques and tools, depending on the specific behavior and characteristics of the malware in question.